Welcome to the Ebb and Glow podcast. I'm your host, Jenelle Tremblett, and I'm a firm believer that even when life doesn't go as planned, it is taking you exactly where you're meant to be. On this podcast, I'm here to help you finally release control of what you think you want and begin to just trust in the ebbs and flows of life. Each week, I will show you how to build that positive mindset, radiate with self-confidence, and cultivate an unshakable resilience. Let me prove to you that even when life ebbs, you will glow. Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 92 of the Ebb and Glow podcast. I'm your host, Jenelle, and today's episode is a solo one with me. And I do these solo episodes about once a month, just to give you some context to what's happening in my life, some updates, how in my life I'm ebbing and glowing. And the reason why I like to do monthly solo episodes is that you can see kind of the changes in someone's life. That last month, I was talking about a bunch of different topics. This month, I'm going to be talking about completely different things. And you can see how the transitions happen throughout your daily life and throughout the month. And it's sometimes nice to kind of listen back to all the solo episodes and see the changes, the growth, the ups and downs. It's almost like writing in a journal and then reflecting back. And I mean, some of the episodes I did in January, I think back and I think to myself, wow, I've had a lot of healing and growth since then. And even my mindset and what's happening in my life, it's amazing what can happen in 7 months. And that's not to say that maybe there's things that are going to happen during the rest of the year that may knock me over again. For me, it's nice to share these experiences and these ups and downs with you so that you can see that it doesn't matter what you see on the outside of someone through Instagram, through social media. This is the real life stuff that's happening in people's lives. So today's topics, as you can see from the episode title, is all around detachment, which is a huge topic on my brain lately. Friendship changes, which I'll dive into a little bit more during the episode, and also TikTok crushes. I just want to talk about that today in this episode because it's really funny to me watching myself have TikTok crushes. It's like having a crush on a celebrity. So before we jump into the episode, if you're new here, welcome. Welcome to the Ebb and Glow podcast. I have been doing this for almost 2 years now. This episode is episode 92, and we're getting so close to episode 100. And I actually plan on doing a bit of a party with all of my friends and hosting once I do episode 100. It's like a big milestone, so I'm excited for that. And if you're not new here, make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Whether you're listening, whether you're watching on YouTube right now, it means the world to me if you hit that subscribe or that follow button so that every single week a new episode is dropped into your Spotify account, your Apple account, or on YouTube, and you'll be able to listen to the episode right away. I have people all around the world that share stories about their relationship changes, their career pivots, the things in life that have really knocked them down, and they come back even stronger than before. They get that glow after the ebb. And then I also have my friends on, and there's so many more of my friends that'll be coming on these upcoming episodes. And then, as I said, I always do a solo episode every single month. So to get the episode started today, I want to kick off by doing a highlight of my ebbs and my glows that have happened over the past month since we chatted last. So some ebbs that are happening in my life recently, one of the biggest ones that come to mind is I'm almost a little bit overwhelmed with how much I want to accomplish. And what I mean by that is, as a realtor, I have so many creative ideas of what I want to do. I want to really build up the TikTok. I want to build email campaigns. I want to be partnering with local businesses. I want to be chatting to more mortgage brokers and just like learn more about their business. There's so much I want to do. And I find myself feeling a little stifled and overwhelmed by how much I want to accomplish and being able to break that down into smaller bite-sized things to work on. So I find lately I've been waking up in the morning and knowing what I want to accomplish and getting excited about the creative project that I want to do, but almost procrastinating a little and self-sabotaging a little and just like continuing to do the busy work of my day to day and not the strategic work. So that's one big thing in my life right now that I'm struggling with. And it's funny, it's during my day to day as a realtor, I'm creating so much content. Like I'm out taking so many videos. Like even today, I took videos of the buildings. I took videos of me, and it seems like it's just sitting in my phone for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I scroll through my photo album and I'm like, oh wow, I have so much content and I'm not creating anything with it. So I really need to hold myself accountable to start creating that because I know it's such great material and I really get a lot of fun out of creating those things. The other ebb that's coming up for me lately is, and it's linked to almost the procrastinating on creating the content, is I'm noticing in myself that I almost have a fear of being in the spotlight. And if you listen to an episode a few weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, the astrology episode I did with Haley Comet, we talked about your Chiron. And I believe I have my Chiron in Leo. And remember what that means is I have this wound of almost being afraid to be in the spotlight. And I'm really starting to recognize that in myself lately. And it's almost like I'm afraid of getting all of this attention, almost afraid of growing and succeeding and being well known. Even though I want those things, I'm almost afraid of having them. And so that's an ebb in my life lately that I've been battling with in my mind, where I need to gain a little bit even more confidence. And I'm a very confident person, but gain a little bit more confidence in terms of putting myself out there online. And I really need to push myself over that ledge as soon as possible. The other ebb that's happening in my life lately is I'm finding it a little bit hard to find time in my day to work out. I'm not making working out a priority in my life at all. And that's not like me at all. I'm a very active person and I love to work out or bike or swim or just be active and moving in general. And I'm finding it's all linked to kind of being overwhelmed with a long to-do list and finding it hard to prioritize the right things. But yeah, that's one thing that has been falling off as a priority a lot lately. And I'm not too proud of it. And then the other one, which I'll dive into a little bit more in the episode, is I've had some friendship changes with one of my closest friends lately. And I guess we're just kind of in a different season with our friendship. But yeah, that's hurting me a little bit. But yeah, that's another like change and kind of weird thing that's happening in my life. Now, on the positive side, I've also had a lot of glows in my life in the past month. One of the biggest glows / accomplishments that I'm really proud of is so in our brokerage, every month we do like top five. We do top five realtors based on sales and volume and a bunch of different categories. And in June, I actually hit two of the categories in the top five. So one of the categories that I hit, I was in the top five of total commission for the month of June. So I'm very happy about that. I was proud of myself. And then I was actually the top realtor in our brokerage for transaction volume for the month of June. So I was pretty proud of that. I worked a lot in May and obviously June, and obviously it paid off. So I was happy to be recognized in those top five categories. The other glow that I'm really happy about is just my apartment. My condo is really coming along in terms of decor, and I've pretty much have put all the finishing touches on now, other than maybe things I will change in like the fall and whatnot. But it's just really starting to become an oasis in here. And I'm so proud of it. I love it. I love being here all the time. And every time I come home, I'm just so proud of the place I've created and designed. And the place really feels like me. So yeah, it just feels like my home. I had a friend over recently and he kind of looked around. He was like, I don't mean to just like keep giving you compliments, but like your place is really nice. Like you've done a really great job. And my sun sign is in Taurus. So, I mean, getting complimented on your decor and your home is a big compliment for me. And I take a lot of pride in that. So I was pretty happy with that. And then the other glow that's linked with that is in my new building that I live in, we have a rooftop pool that overlooks like Toronto and it's beautiful. And I've been spending so much time there lately. Trust me, the moment I'm done recording this episode, I will be going to the pool and going for a quick evening dip. And I've just been loving it. I just feel really happy in my life. I mean, I just went through a full list of ebbs that I've been going through, but as you can see, the contrast that yes, you can be having things in your life that are not as great, or they're kind of bringing you down, or they're kind of challenging you. There's also so many other parts of your life that you can be so happy about. You can have so much joy out of. And one of those for me is, yeah, my rooftop pool. And I find this is the first summer since I've lived in Toronto that I actually feel like I'm having a summer. And it's mostly to do with that rooftop pool. And I feel like I live a little bit of a luxurious life and I'm loving truly every second of it. So, some other fun updates in my life and some things that I have coming up in the next month or so that I'm really excited about. So, in the month of August, I will be traveling a little bit. I'm going with a big group of my girlfriends to Boots and Hearts. So, it's a big country music festival here in Ontario, in Canada. And it's kind of like Coachella in terms of the outfits. I'm definitely going to take some inspiration from Coachella this year in terms of my outfits. And I still have to order outfits, but I'm so excited. There's 7 of us girls renting an RV and going for an entire weekend. And I've wanted to do Boots and Hearts since I was probably 22, 23, since I've moved to Toronto. And it's so funny that we're doing it at like age 29 and 30 and 31. It's so funny, but I'm really excited for that weekend with all of my girlfriends. And then also in August, I am going home for a week to visit my family. And so that'll be a nice kind of week away and a week off just to chill with the fam, just be by the ocean. It's going to be so nice. And then in the first week of September, I'm actually in Winnipeg for a wedding for one of my best girlfriends, Mika. And I've known Mika since I moved to Toronto. So we've been friends for, yeah, what is that? Almost 6 years. And it's going to be so nice to go back to where she's from, which is Winnipeg, which is the west coast of Canada, and just celebrate her and Eric's wedding. And me and a bunch of the girls are going and flying out. And I've never been to Winnipeg. So that's going to be a fun adventure. So I'm definitely just working a lot right now so that when I do take that time off throughout August and a little bit of September, that it'll be worth it. So, the main topic that's been on my mind a lot lately, and I'm noticing about myself, is the whole topic around detachment. And I love this because it's been a long time since I could genuinely feel this way. And what I mean by detachment is feeling very detached from the outcome. And I'm noticing myself feeling detached in pretty much every area of my life. And it's not powerful in a manipulative way. It's powerful in terms of an inner peace way, where let's give an example. So I'm seeing myself feeling detached from things in both dating, in my career, in my friendships, like in every single thing. So, for instance, in real estate, if I have a client that maybe changes their mind or maybe finds a place on their own or just decides to get out of the market and just kind of wants to put their search on pause. There's been times in my life that I was a little bit more affected by that and sensitive to it and took it personally. I am so unaffected by it all lately. And it seems almost a little psychotic and like sociopathic, but it's more coming from a sense of wanting to keep the peace within myself. And I've realized that your self-worth and who you are as a person is not linked to somebody else's actions. Yeah, let that one sit in for a bit. So no matter what someone else's actions are or decision or whatever they choose, you can't allow yourself to be affected by that and then judge your self-worth based on that. Because think, if I was internally affected and took it personally every time a client changed their mind, oh my goodness, I would be very depressed and I would be very upset and anxious at all times. And I'm seeing this in dating as well. And just when I meet people in terms of like a romantic setting, it doesn't matter to me what happens afterwards from it. I've met a few guys recently that definitely have caught my eye for sure. But I'm not really in a position or a season in my life to take anything in dating very seriously anyways. And I think that's probably where a lot of the detachment is coming from, is because I don't actually have the time or energy to be intentional about dating. So I haven't been making it a priority, but I'm finding myself becoming so sure of who I am and what I want and what I stand for and where I'm going, that if someone isn't choosing me or making it clear that they're into me, I'm pretty unaffected by it. Yeah, I am. And before, even 6 months ago, even a couple of years ago, I think if I met someone, I'd be anxious about whether or not they were texting me back. I'd be anxious about, okay, well, they haven't planned another date, or we don't have anything on the calendar when we'll see them again. Oh, I feel like they responded to this message a little bit slower or a little bit less enthusiastic. I used to be so affected by that. And I mean, I don't even want to say every girl listening to this. I feel like guys and girls feel this. You can get so caught up in someone else's energy and how they're treating you, and you start to really link your confidence and self-worth to that. And I'm happy to say that I've definitely have healed something in my life where I'm not as affected by it anymore. And it's such a nice, healthy, and refreshing position to be in. And where I stand with that now is it doesn't matter if someone doesn't text me back. It doesn't matter the frequency. I'm really seeing things for what they are right now. And I'm not having any expectations on anything, because I truly believe expectations equal disappointment. Anytime you've ever had expectations around anything, tell me that you weren't disappointed at the end of it. Anytime you were disappointed is probably because you had an expectation of someone or something. And for me now, just given what I've went through in the past year with dating and whatnot, for me is I'm really all about now matching someone's energy, seeing someone for who they are in the moment, appreciating the moment or any day that I spend with them for that particular moment, and not making meaning out of anything. Just being very present in the moment, being very true to myself and present whenever I'm around them or whenever I'm around anyone. And yeah, removing any sort of expectation and just appreciating whatever connection comes from it and just seeing that for what it is. And for anyone who is listening that's in kind of the dating world and it's making you anxious, and maybe you're feeling, oh my God, I'm never going to meet someone, you need to really work on your attachment style and start working towards a safe place of detachment. And I find you'll have a lot less anxiety about dating, and your energy and your time will be much better used on yourself and on the people that matter in your life and the people that are showing up for you in your life. And in the moment you get rid of that anxious energy, you'll realize how much happier and lighter you feel. And trust me, it's worth it, because that's how I feel lately and have been feeling probably for the past couple of months. And yeah, it feels very airy and light. And I find inevitably, like if that's the energy that you're putting out into the world, you will inevitably attract probably what you're looking for anyways. And to conclude that little topic, if you are dating and you're kind of trying to search for someone and you're looking for a relationship, you need to really, again, see people for what they are and for who they are. When someone tells you who they are, listen to them. When someone shows you, listen to them, and stop getting ahead of yourself. Enjoy the moment that you're in when you're with them. Stop always looking at the future, and stop creating a future that you don't even know anything about. I sent my friend this post today that I know she resonated with a lot, and I felt that I resonated with a lot. And the quote was, "The universe is not in a hurry. You are. It's why you are anxious and depressed and disappointed. Let go and trust." And wow, that one hit home for me a lot. Not as much lately, but definitely in my past. But I know for one of my girlfriends, it definitely hit home for her, because she is the type that is always kind of planning ahead and making sure things are happening and executing. And it's like, just let things happen very naturally. And I can guarantee you, I'm a big believer that the universe already has kind of a set plan for you. And it's all kind of already created. And you're just going through the motions of it a little bit. You can definitely co-create with the universe in some sense, but I think there is like a predestined plan for us. So stop trying to control it, because it's not going to work in your favor. The next topic and life change that has been happening with me lately is some of my friendships are definitely in a different season of things. And I have one of my closest girlfriends that we're just like not as close lately. And it's definitely hard, but I'm kind of just trusting the season of the change. And again, pretty detached from it. I'm not getting too caught up in the whys or the hows or trying to fix or force anything. I'm kind of just like the waves of the ocean and the seasons of life, just kind of watching it evolve. and being okay with that and just kind of rolling with it. And I'm sure anyone listening to this now has had changes in some of their close friendships, whether you stopped talking altogether, whether you went through seasons of your life where you just weren't as close. And I just want to say, like, that's okay. Some of your closest girlfriends and closest friends in general, you don't have to be best close friends with them all the time. There's going to be times in your life where there's some friends that you're closer with than others. And then a year later, that same friend, you're closer to her now than the other ones. And a lot has to do with kind of what you're going through in life. Maybe you guys are doing similar careers, so you get closer because you have more in common. I know I see a lot of girlfriends when they're single, they get closer to their single girlfriends. Then when they're in relationships, they get closer to their friendships that are in relationships. And it's tough when it's happening, when you feel like there's a divide happening within the group, or maybe you're worried about how everyone else will be affected. And what I have to say to that is, who cares? Why are you worrying about how the rest of the group is affected? And why aren't you worried about how it's going to affect you? It's tough when there's changes within a group of friends, but I'm a big believer that the closest friends you'll have in your life, there's gonna be times within that friendship where you're not as close, where you're upset with them, where you go without talking for a few months because of maybe you got into a little fight. And then there's gonna be times where you're closer than ever. And I find if you can handle those waves of a friendship, then I think your friendship will be stronger in the end, regardless. I've had friends in the past where we never ever got in an argument. Everything was always like just simple and surface level and smooth sailing. And I think, like, were they really even a close friend? And then I have other friends where we've definitely have had fights and have had disagreements and didn't see eye to eye. And the friendship fell apart after one fight. And then I think to myself, was that going to be a long-term friend anyways? Like, if they couldn't handle a bump in the road in our friendship, like, what happens when there's big life changes within one of our lives? Are we going to be able to be there to support each other? I don't know. So for my particular situation, it's not really affecting the group at all. Myself and this friend are pretty mature, and I don't have any issues with her at all. So I have no reason to act any different, but we are definitely in group settings a lot, and it hasn't been weird at all yet. But I'm noticing myself, like, not sad, but I'm noticing myself just kind of like not okay with the change. Like, no one likes change that much. So it's definitely created a different dynamic where normally I would probably spend a ton of time with her this summer, but we haven't really spent any time together at all. And I mean, that makes me sad because we normally have a lot of fun together, but I'm just trusting the season of change within this friendship and just kind of flowing with that and then seeing where it goes. But one of the biggest things for me when I reflect back on that friendship and kind of analyze where I think it's going to go, the biggest thing I worry about with that friendship is I worry that with this friend in particular, the stuff that is upsetting her or frustrating her about me, I worry that it's actually fundamental to who I am. And eventually, when I learn more about maybe why she's upset with me, I need to kind of make the decision of, is this something I can change and maybe adapt to make her more comfortable and make our friendship flow nicer? Or is this actually fundamental to who I am and I don't plan on changing it? And I mean, I'm not at that point yet to make that decision because I don't have enough information. But yeah, all of us go through friendship changes. I know I was talking to a friend recently who was going through a pretty similar situation as me with one of his friends. And we had that conversation of like, is your friend upset by something that you did and can you change that? Or do they just not like fundamentally who you are? And also, secondly, is it okay if you stop talking with this friend and maybe just have a pause within your friendship and come back to it later? Or is this starting to make you question whether you even want this friend in your life long term? Is there longevity to this friendship? I said to him, that's what you have to ask yourself. I have to ask myself that with my particular friendship. And if anyone's listening and going through the same thing, ask yourself that as well. I find as we get older, we have so little time for any type of bullshit. I find if someone is making it clear to me that they don't want to be in my life, or it's kind of a headache kind of being friends with them or even being in a relationship with them, it's kind of harder than it is easy, I don't have any time for it anymore. I want friendships and relationships and anyone in my life to be easy and fun and light. I mean, of course, there's going to be serious times we're going to get in arguments. We're going to go through difficult times, and I'm down to go through those and allow the friendship to become closer. But yeah, if it's harder to be friends with you than it is easy, I don't really want anything to do with it anymore. I don't have the time or energy for it. So that's my advice on that. And if anyone's listening that is going through those kinds of things and wants to share the stories, feel free to come on the podcast. We can dive into this further. It's always a fun topic to talk about because especially in our late 20s and going into our early 30s, that our lives are changing all the time. And it's intriguing to me watching what friendships kind of continue in different phases of your life. On a lighter note, the last topic I want to talk about is TikTok and TikTok crushes. I can't help myself, guys. I feel like I'm looking through a magazine and I have a couple TikTok crushes. That has to be normal, right? It's not just me. Anyways, my For You page is looking real good right now. There's this one guy that I have the biggest like TikTok crush on. I mean, I would never do anything about it. It's more just, it's like thinking a celebrity is really good looking and following them on Instagram and stuff. But I'm watching myself have a little crush on him because I just like his energy. And then as I kept watching his videos, I was like, no, this is a really cool guy. And I just have this like shameless schoolgirl crush on him. But then I sat back with myself and I thought, okay, let's analyze this a little bit. Why do I have a crush on him? What is it about him? And I noticed it was his energy. I feel that he has a very light-hearted energy. He was very funny. Funny is a huge quality of mine that I need in a future partner or anyone I'm dating. Very humorous. Everything's like very joking and lighthearted and like very childlike, but in a positive way and in a productive way. And I noticed within the videos, he's very close with his family and everything is, again, fun and light. Loved that. And I mean, he's pretty easy on the eyes too. I mean, I've always kind of had a type, but I'm definitely noticing my type get even more clear and narrow by the day. It's really fun to watch. But yeah, no, these TikTok crushes are very harmless, but I'm enjoying them. I love being like entertained by scrolling through TikTok a little bit. I'm definitely spending a little bit too much time on it lately, but I'll start reeling that back very quick. But yeah, no, it was fun watching myself have this little TikTok crush and just like watching all his videos and just being entertained and everything being lighthearted. But it's helping me link back to why I have the crush and what are those qualities that I'm looking for in a partner. And yeah, I'm definitely from this particular crush, definitely have it down to, yeah, lightheartedness, silliness, funniness, just happy, close to family. Those are all things I look for in a partner. So that's all I really wanted to talk about in this episode today. Not a super long one, not a super in-depth one, but definitely some updates there and gave you some insight into the topics that I'm kind of dealing with in my brain and in the ups and downs. And I want to ask anyone that's listening or watching on YouTube that if there's things that you wonder about me or questions that you have, like please ask them because it'll give me great content to talk about on here. And I'm always willing to answer questions. Like I'm just curious of what you're curious about. So please tell me and please reach out. And if you're listening to this and you or someone you know has a story to share, have gone through some hardships in your life lately and have come out on the other side, please come on the podcast. I'm always looking to have enriching conversations about the real stuff that happens in everyone's lives. And you are always welcome. Just reach out to me or go to my website, ebonglowpodcast.com, and just book a discovery call with me. Again, I'm always willing to have a conversation with anyone about anything. And don't be scared. It's so fun. It's so easy. And whatever story you have to share, it's worth getting on this podcast and sharing it with so many people. So let's close it out here. I've loved chatting with you once again and providing all the updates of my life, and share this with a friend if you've gained value from it, and I'm sure they will too. Okay, have a great day wherever you are, and I can't wait to see you here back next week. Okay, bye. Did you know that I'm not only a podcast host, but in my full-time career, I am a Toronto-based real estate agent. In 2021, I closed 100 deals. Yes, you heard that correctly. So if you or someone you know is a busy professional looking to get into the Toronto real estate market, and you're looking to work with a realtor who values your time most importantly, make sure to reach out to me by going to my website, www.jenelletremblett.com. You'll see on the top right corner, there's a button that says Let's Talk. Click that button, book a call with me, and I look forward to helping you find your next home.